Hi, everybody. I wanted to tell you a story today, and I would love to give credit to the storyteller that told me the story, but honestly, I can't remember who it was. So, this one, I give credit to all the storytellers I've ever met because it's probably one that most of them know. Today, I'm going to tell you about the magic button, and it's going to sound familiar, but this story predates other stories you might have heard that have similar themes to them. There was once a boy named Jack. Jack was a really impatient guy. He wanted to be where he wanted to be now. He didn't want to have to deal with all the in between stuff. Oh, I don't want to have to work to buy a house. I just want my house now. I think we can all kind of relate to Jack on some level. I know I can. But the thing is, we all have to move forward and do the hard stuff, right? As much as we wish we were in the future. But this is the story of Jack, and Jack has an option. One day, Jack is wandering in the woods. He's looking for mushrooms, trying to gather some food for the winter, things like that. Very begrudgingly so, wishing that he didn't have to do that. Like, oh, I want to be done with this already. Well, suddenly, he's faced with a very old, wizened creature. And this creature says, "Oh, Jack, I hear you're impatient one." Yeah, I guess I am a little impatient. Well, I have something for you. Take this button and sew it to your shirt. And when you turn it to a quarter to the right and think about where it is you want to be in your life, oh, you'll be there. Well, Jack was ecstatic. A magic button? Wait, well, okay, but that can't be. But you know what? Why not? I mean, there's this old wizened creature showing up, so okay, fine. So he sews it to his shirt, and he thinks and he thinks and he thinks. Where would he want to be in his life? Well, he really doesn't want to be collecting food for the winter, so he turns the button to the right and thinks, I want to be done with collecting food for the winter and I want to be all set. And suddenly, he's in his home and he's got all the food gathered, has no memory of doing any of it, but it's done. He's like, whoa, this is the best thing ever. Ever. So he thinks, well, I want to be with the woman that I'm going to love for the rest of my life. And he turns to the quarter to the right. Well, wouldn't you know it? He's with a beautiful woman. He doesn't know her. He doesn't remember meeting her, but there she is. Oh, Jack, honey. Oh, just in time for supper, she says to him. He doesn't even know her name quite yet. But you know what? He can get to know her. That's okay. Not a big deal, right? So he's eating supper, and they're talking about all the things that they want in life. That she wants kids, a house of their own, all this great stuff. So he thinks, okay, well, I want to be at my wedding with her. There he is, the wedding. Well, okay, but I want to be at the better part. I want to be at the reception. Turns it to the right. So he keeps going and going. He wants to be at his honeymoon. Then he wants to be done with his wife being pregnant so that they can just have the children. And it goes and goes and goes. And one day Jack wakes up and he's like 95 years old, which is living a long time for someone in that time period. So I guess he's lucky he's still alive at this point. But he realizes he's actually on his deathbed. And all of his children, his beautiful children, are around him. His wife is not, for she has passed away. And he's really sad suddenly. He realizes his whole life just passed by. He experienced none of it. He didn't experience love. He didn't experience the joy of raising his children. He didn't experience the joy of changing a dirty diaper, which, and he didn't enjoy any of it because he doesn't remember any of it, because he's just basically transported through time. So Jack begins to cry, and as he cries, he hears, "Jack, I see you used the button," said the old wizened creature. And he's like, I did, but I'm dying and I didn't get to live any of my life. I'll give you one last chance, the old wizened creature said. Turn the button to the left and think of where you met me. So Jack is like, okay, yes, of course. So he does that, and he's back in the woods collecting his mushrooms and his food for the winter. No wizened creature to be seen, which is fine, because even if he was confronted with the wizened creature again, Jack has made a decision that no more magic buttons for him. And, so I tell that story actually a lot to my clients. It's one I think about a lot myself when I'm like, fuck, I don't want to be doing this for the next 6 weeks. But there's a lot to be said about the journey. There's a lot to be said about, going through life, experiencing each other, experiencing relationships, experiencing the small things. Even when the small things suck, at the end of the day, it's part of life. And life is a grand collage. It's a grand tapestry. And if you just skip through it, you miss all the beauty of that tapestry, of that collage, of that life that you were meant to live. Some kind of joy is being taken away when we're so far in the future about what we want. And really it comes down to, like, how do we transport ourselves into the future? With anxiety. We use anxiety to transport ourselves into the past and the future. A lot of times into the future we think, okay, well, how's this going to be? I don't want to do this. Maybe we psych ourselves out and we don't do something that could have meant a lot to us at the end of the day and wouldn't have been as bad. I don't know. But I think really the moral of the story is trying as best we can to be mindful in the moment, in the present, and enjoying what is around us and the beauty, the light, and the love that we can have for each other and ourselves. So thanks for listening. Maybe I'll start doing these more. I don't know. All right, bye.